Hey, what's going on, lovely people of YouTube? Today I'm going to take you behind the scenes of a studio session I did yesterday. I'll walk through how I prepared, the charts, the sheet music, which basses and gear I decided to bring, and just all that good stuff. So this will be a fun video, and if you've ever wondered what it's like playing in a studio environment, you're going to like this video. For me, whenever I put myself in a situation like this, which is kind of high pressure, it wasn't as high pressure as some of other stuff I've done, but there was a time limit. It always makes me appreciate and have more respect for, you know, those session legends back in the day who used to do like session after session, and will sometimes turn up in the morning having like no idea what they're playing that day and then just nailing it, you know, one take wonders. You know, now I've been inside some nice studios, like I've taken a little tour inside like Abbey Road and some other famous studios, but when it comes to me actually playing on a session, I'd probably say this studio in North London is one of the nicest studios I've personally played in. And this might be partly because there were some lovely people on the session and some great musicians that I've played with for a long time, one of them being my brother, so I played with him my whole life. So that definitely has something to do with the vibe that was created on that day. As well as the people, the actual room had a really nice warm energy and vibe. It had some really cool gear that I kind of geeked out on a little bit. The recording, by the way, was for a library music service, which is kind of nice as it's not as high pressure as like recording an album, for example. So you've probably seen these websites where you can go and download like royalty-free music and use it in videos maybe like this, or advertisements on TV, say. That's essentially what we were recording for. I want a quick shout out to Drew as well, who was the sound engineer, who was just amazing and not only managed to get a great sound out of all the gear and equipment, but he was also super accommodating and knew exactly when to share and give his input without like taking control of the session. And we also got free coffee, so it's a win-win. Now usually there's a producer, a sound engineer, and then the musicians, right, of course. In this session we were just laying down the rhythm section, so we just had me on bass, a keys player who was my brother, a drummer, and a guitarist. A guitarist and I go back way back. We played in college together as well. We did debate whether to just do the drums and bass together, because I just went DI, so it would mean there'll be no spill on the drum mics if we did it that way. But because of the vibe of the tracks, we decided to do the old school way and just record a full rhythm section live in the studio, which was way more fun for us. There were some funny moments that happened as well, like while I was nerding out about, I think, pedals with the guitarist, the drummer played a prank and started like counting in the tune. I'll share the clip now. You can see me like quickly react and like turn on my volume and then get ready to play. It's got that nice like light on it, hasn't it?
Yes, it changes how bright it is depending on how hard you're playing.
What's that other one?
Oh, that's an overdrive. Yeah, it's really good, that.
Now let's talk about what I was sent before the session. So for this particular session, I was sent sheet music and demos via a Dropbox link, which is really nice. So the night before, I played along to all the demos and made sure my notes all matched up on the sheet music. Now I download the sheet music on my iPad here, and then I have an iPad stand. I'll show you my setup, and actually use an app called Fourscore, which is kind of specifically designed for this kind of stuff. It's a really useful app for musicians, and I highly recommend getting it if you do any sort of reading gigs or you just want to make some notes on your charts. I'm not sponsored by any of them or any gear that I'm going to mention in this video. I just really like this app, and this app actually allows me to connect to my Bluetooth Butterfly foot pedal, which I'll show you a video of now, and it allows me to change the page of the app without actually like doing this and pressing. I just click the foot switch and it will flick back and forth depending on where I am in the music, which sounds kind of like a really silly thing to bring, like a foot pedal, but it's actually so useful, especially as a bass player, because usually we're playing like continuous lines and we're playing most of the time as well. So like a keys player could have the iPad here and then play with one hand and then click with the other, right, and just hold the chord. But bass, like, it's harder to do that. You would need a whole note or something. And sometimes, depending on how they've written it, like this one, for example, you can see we've got a bar 45, we've got an ending here, 3 bars, and then you flip over and you've still got written music. There's no like resting at all. And this happens actually with a lot of the music. Like here, you've got this augmented line in the last bar, which goes straight into verse 2. So it can be really difficult to turn pages, and it can really mess you up, especially if there's like coders and stuff, and then you're flicking back and forth, kind of like this. But just having a foot pedal is just probably one of the best, cheapest investments I've made. I think they're like $20 on Amazon. So yeah, here's Fourscore. I'm going to share my iPad on my screen, and then I just put them in a folder. So Found My Love is the first one. I also put what bass I was thinking about playing. So I put Mustang there, as in my Mustang bass. And then this is pretty straightforward. Oh, on the session, we decided not to do this hit here. So I just scribbled that out. And then here, we decided that Cody, who's the keys player, that he would only do this row here. And then we would come in on this E flat over F chord. Here, again, I decided to play a Mustang. And you can see it's very easy to do. And how I make notes, for example, say I wanted this last chord to only be bass, or I cut out or something on that last chord, I can actually edit this and say like cut and just write on the music. Or something that's very cool is I can actually edit the notation. Say instead of ending, the producer wrote all of this in treble clef, which is quite confusing as a bass player, but say you wanted to change this note, what you can do is you can like scribble it out like that, write the bar lines in. Let's say we want to change it to this note, we can just write that bar in. I know it's not super neat, but it's a real quick way of just making notes on the fly, and it keeps it neater than I think paper and pen. And also the other thing is it's quite dark in the studio, right? So with an iPad you can see it all light up, and you can even see notes like this. Like when I was going through the demo, this last note was short, but then it's written as long. So I kind of wrote that in the night before as a question that I would ask the producer, and we decided to play it long. And here, for example, I heard a B flat sus on the demo, but then it's written as a G minor. So, you know, I had a few questions about that. As you can see, I wrote out the skeleton groove here. Boom, boom. Here I wrote the hits in as well, because they weren't written in on the bottom line. So I'll make notes the night before and put any kind of like question marks next to questions that I want to ask when we actually get to play the song. So we had 6 tracks to record in roughly 7 hours, which includes a setup time and also kind of getting ready. We made some coffee and things. So really we averaged around 1 track per hour. Here's some interesting clips where you can hear us discussing with the sound engineer and the producer some of the finer details before actually recording a take. Do you want me to play those notes before the chorus, Tom, in bar 16? Or do you want me to leave it?
Tom, any row with this? No, you haven't written a row.
One of the tracks that we recorded was a very Motowny vibe, so I was playing a lot of busy James Jamerson type lines. So you can see me here asking the producer if I was being too busy. Am I too busy as well? Or is it? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. All right, let's talk about gear. So I took 2 basses to the session, and I decided these 2 basses based off the demos. So I took this double case where you can put 2 basses in, and the main one I actually ended up playing for the whole thing, even though I took 2, was this one, which is a Fender JMJ Mustang bass. It's a short scale bass and it's got flat ones on it. It just sounds amazing recorded. It's fairly new to me, but I really enjoyed playing this, and I just ended up playing this one throughout the entire session. It just really fitted the vibe. But just in case that one didn't work for some of the more funkier tunes, I took my jazz bass as well, which is a completely different vibe, with the round wound strings as well. There was a tune where I was thinking potentially I may do some slap as well, which wouldn't really work so well on that Mustang. So I took this one as well just as a backup, but I didn't actually end up using this in the end. By the way, if you like these kind of videos, then let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you found something useful in this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's completely free to do so. And of course, you can always unsubscribe in the future. And I'll just leave you with some clips from yesterday's recording. Enjoy.
Yeah, you smashed it. Yeah, nice.